In a quiet part of Owerri, where the roads were red with dust and the houses stood close like family, lived a woman named Monica. She was known by many names online: Glow Queen, Mummy Million, and Content Mama. But to her neighbors, she was the lady who always held a phone in her hand. Monica had made a name for herself on the internet. She posted every part of her life: how she cooked, how she dressed, how she cleaned, how she slept. She filmed it all. People followed her from different towns and countries. Some said she was inspiring, others said she was just lucky. But Monica was not chasing luck. She was chasing light. Morning light, golden light, soft light, ring light. Her small one-bedroom flat became a studio. Her food became display. Her days were shaped not by time, but by content. "Good morning, my loves," she would say into the camera, smiling sweetly. "Hope you're shining like I am today." The people watching smiled back, through their screens, but no one knew what her life looked like after the camera went off. And even Monica, slowly, began to forget what real life felt like when no one was watching. When Monica became pregnant, her content became even more popular. She filmed everything: her cravings, her checkups, her swollen feet. People loved it. Her followers grew by the thousands. Then came the day Monica gave birth. A girl. Small, soft, and quiet. Her name was Esther. "She's a gift," Monica whispered, staring at the newborn wrapped in white cloth. Within hours, Esther's photo was online. Wrapped like a present, pink ribbon on her head. The comments poured in: "She's so beautiful. A star already. Your baby is glowing, just like you." Monica felt proud. She held her phone close and filmed the first time Esther yawned. The first time she opened one eye. The first time she stretched her hand. 3 days old, and already Esther was online. Monica smiled. "She's going to shine brighter than me," she said. And from that day, Esther became part of the show. She wasn't just a baby. She was content. Every corner of Monica's home was now planned for photos. Soft blankets were laid down. New baby clothes were delivered every week. Lights were placed at the perfect angles. Everything had to look perfect. Not just real, perfect. Esther wore lace socks and pearl headbands. She was filmed while sleeping, while waking, while being bathed. There were no quiet moments. There was always a camera. Monica loved her daughter. But she also loved the attention. She didn't see the problem. Her husband, Joseph, noticed first. "She doesn't sleep well," he said one evening. "She turns her head away from the light." "She's fine," Monica replied. "She's getting used to it." Joseph didn't argue. He watched as Monica posed Esther again and again. Even when Esther looked tired, even when her small eyes refused to stay open, the baby had become a brand. And no one seemed to notice, except her father. One morning, Monica received an email. A baby product company from Port Harcourt wanted Esther to be their brand face. They had seen her videos. They loved her smile. They offered money, products, and even a trip. Monica clapped her hands in joy. "This is it," she told Joseph. "This is what I've worked for. Esther is going to be famous. This is her time." Joseph said nothing. Esther was 1 month old. Too young to hold a bottle. Too young to sit up. But now, she had a contract. Monica began to plan. New clothes were bought. More lights were added to the house. Makeup artists were booked. Shoots were scheduled. Esther had no space to be a baby anymore. She was busy. There were days she cried more than usual. Some nights she refused to eat. But Monica called it normal baby stress. Joseph started sleeping in the other room. He couldn't watch it anymore. It was a cold night in Owerri. The rain started early, tapping softly on the zinc roof. By 10 p.m., it was loud and strong. Thunder rolled in the distance. Joseph came home late from work. As he entered, he saw the bright light from the living room. Monica was live again. She was holding Esther, who looked sleepy and limp. "Say hello to your fans, sweet girl," Monica whispered into the camera. Esther didn't respond. Her head leaned on her mother's shoulder. Her hands hung low. Her eyes were half closed. Joseph stepped forward. "She needs rest," he said. Calmly. "Put her down. Please." Monica frowned. "I'll finish soon. I just need one more video." The rain grew louder. Joseph didn't speak again. He turned away and sat on the edge of the bed, listening to the sound of thunder, baby's shallow breath, and his wife's soft voice repeating, "Smile, baby." The live ended at midnight. Monica looked down at Esther. The baby wasn't moving. She touched her forehead. It was cold. Joseph did not wait. He wrapped Esther in a soft towel and rushed out into the rain. Monica followed, barefoot, her hands shaking. The streets of Owerri were almost empty. The thunder rolled far above, and water flowed like rivers across the road. They didn't speak in the car. Only the baby's silence filled the space. At the hospital, the nurse took Esther from Joseph's arms and walked quickly inside. Monica sat on the bench, soaked in rain, mascara running down her face. She kept whispering, "She's fine. She's fine." Joseph sat beside her, eyes on the door. A doctor came out after some time. His face was still. His hands were folded. He looked at Monica, then Joseph. "I'm sorry," he said. She came in without a pulse. Monica's world went quiet. The house that once glowed with lights now sat in silence. Monica stopped posting. The ring light gathered dust. The baby clothes remained folded in the corner. Boxes of unopened baby products were left untouched. No one called her the Glow Queen anymore. Her followers dropped. Her page turned quiet. The comments stopped. Joseph returned to work. He spoke little. He walked softly, as if sound might break what was left between them. Monica stayed indoors. She barely ate. She barely moved. Sometimes she sat in Esther's room, looking at the last photo she had taken, a picture where Esther's eyes were almost closed, her mouth slightly open, her head resting too low. She didn't see it then. But she saw it now in Igbo tradition. When a child dies young, the burial is quiet. No drums. No feasts. Just prayers and silence. Esther was buried in a soft white cloth, under a small mango tree behind the church. Only a few came. Monica did not speak. She placed a pink ribbon beside the cloth and walked away. Later that day, a woman from their neighborhood came to visit. Her name was Mama Chica, an older woman with gentle eyes. She sat with Monica for a while and said nothing. Then she placed her hand on Monica's shoulder. "You held your child in your arms," she said. "But your eyes were always on the screen. Now that screen cannot hold her for you." Monica cried for the first time in days. Not for the followers. Not for the loss of fame. But for her daughter. After 2 weeks of silence, Monica picked up her phone again. She didn't wear makeup. She didn't fix the background. She didn't use any filter. She just pressed record. Her face was tired. Her voice was low. "My name is Monica," she said. "And I lost my child." She was 1 month old. Her name was Esther. She didn't die because she was sick. She died because I chose attention over care. She paused. I didn't mean to harm her. But I forgot she was a baby, not a brand. I fed the world her life, but she had no peace in it. She ended the video with a few words. "Your child is not your content. Your baby is not your brand." She posted it and turned off the phone. The video spread fast. It was shared in markets, in churches, on group chats, in offices. Some wept while watching. Some got angry. Others finally understood. Mothers who once wanted to copy Monica's lifestyle now held their babies closer. "You reminded us what matters," one woman wrote in the comments. Joseph saw the video too. He came home early that day. He sat beside Monica and placed her phone face down. "No more for now," he said gently. She nodded. In the days that followed, Monica started walking again. She cleaned Esther's room. She folded the clothes. She gave away the unopened packages. One morning, she placed the last photo of Esther in a small frame and kept it by the window. Then she sat down quietly, not to post, not to plan, not to pose. Just to breathe. Days turned into weeks, and Monica's life slowly found a new rhythm. She no longer woke to the bright light of her phone. No more rushed outfits or scripted smiles for the camera. Instead, she woke to the sound of birds singing outside her window, to the smell of hot tea brewing on the stove. Joseph returned to a quieter house. He smiled more. He hugged her more. But they both knew it was not the same. Something had shifted, for the better, yes, but still, the loss lingered. Some days, Monica would stand by the window, her hands on the frame, looking at the mango tree where Esther was buried. She would close her eyes and whisper prayers for her daughter, asking for forgiveness. Asking for peace. And slowly, her soul began to heal. One morning, Mama Chica came again, holding her granddaughter, Ngozi. She was a small girl, only 2 years old, but she had bright eyes and a wide smile. The moment she saw Monica, she ran over to her. "Monica," Mama Chica said with a smile, "Ngozi wants to play with you." Monica smiled back, her heart warm but still heavy. She had not played with a child in weeks. Monica bent down to greet Ngozi. The child hugged her tightly, giggling. "Come, Monica, come play with me," Ngozi said, tugging at her hand. For a moment, Monica hesitated. But then, she let go. She stood up, wiped her tears, and followed the little girl outside. They played under the mango tree. They chased each other, laughed, and ran barefoot in the soft grass. And for the first time in months, Monica felt something like peace. One afternoon, Monica visited her old village. She hadn't been there in a long time. The road was bumpy, and the houses were simple, made from clay and grass roofs. Yet, it was home. Her parents greeted her warmly, though they could see the sadness in her eyes. They invited her to sit with them under the large palm tree. Monica's mother, Mama Yugo, made fresh palm wine and served cassava bread, their favorite snack. As they sat, Monica's father, Papa Yugo, looked at her quietly. He had always been a man of few words. Finally, he spoke. "You were chasing shadows," he said gently. "The world you wanted to live in was not real. You were looking for something that was always inside you." Monica looked at him, confused. "What do you mean?" she asked. Papa Yugo smiled softly. "The love you needed was always there. You only had to see it." Monica thought about his words, letting them sink into her heart. The shadows of fame, the noise of social media, the chasing of likes, none of that had brought her peace. But now, she had a new understanding. Monica returned home with a new sense of clarity. She began to change things in her life. The first change was simple: she put her phone down. She no longer felt the need to film every moment, to share everything. She began to enjoy the small things, the taste of freshly cooked food, the sound of laughter from the children in the neighborhood, the peace of an evening spent watching the sunset. Joseph noticed it, too. He had his wife back, the one who had always been so full of life but had lost herself in the chase. Together, they began to rebuild. Monica focused on her family. She focused on the love she had with Joseph and the memories she had of Esther. Even though her heart would never be the same, it was beginning to heal. One day, Monica woke up with a deep sense of purpose. She knew what she had to do. She picked up her phone, but this time, she did not press record for the world. She pressed record for herself. In the video, she spoke softly but with a clear, powerful voice. "I lost my daughter because I was chasing something that didn't matter. I gave away her childhood for the world to see, and now she's gone. But I'm not the only one. Many of us forget what is real. We forget to protect the ones we love because we're too busy trying to impress others. She paused, taking a deep breath. If you are a mother, father, or anyone who loves someone, remember this: your child is not your content. Your baby is not your brand. They are your heart. Hold them close. Monica stopped the recording and uploaded the video. This time, it wasn't for the likes. It wasn't for the comments. It was for those who needed to hear the message, just as she had needed to hear it. She put her phone down again, and for the first time in a long while, Monica felt free. Monica's message spread far beyond what she expected. People began sharing the video not because it was polished or trendy, but because it was honest. Mothers in cities and villages, fathers, uncles, aunties, they watched it. Some cried. Some sent messages of support. Some looked at their own lives differently. A woman in Aba stopped filming her sick child just to get sympathy online. A young girl in Enugu deleted her page where she had been sharing photos of her baby brother for views. In small ways, change began to happen. Monica didn't ask for attention anymore. But this time, her voice created something meaningful. Something quiet, yet strong. A lesson. A wake-up call. One Saturday, a local women's group invited Monica to speak at a small event. It was held at the town hall, a modest place with wooden benches and open windows. The women gathered in colorful wrappers, babies tied to their backs or sleeping in baskets nearby. Monica walked in, unsure of what to say. But the women smiled at her. They already knew her story. She stood before them and spoke from her heart. I did not come here as a speaker, she said. I came as a mother who made a mistake. A mistake I can never undo. But I hope my pain can help someone else protect their child. After she finished, the room stayed quiet for a moment. Then, one by one, women began to share their own fears. Their own guilt. Their own need to do better. It was not a gathering of shame. It was a gathering of healing. Behind their small home in Owerri, Monica and Joseph cleared a patch of land. It had once been a place for camera stands and props. Now, it became something else. A garden. Monica planted white flowers. There. Soft, simple ones. Around the base of the mango tree where Esther had been buried, she placed small stones and a wooden bench. She didn't build a statue. She didn't write a name in gold. She just created a place where peace could grow. Every evening, Monica sat on the bench. Sometimes she prayed. Sometimes she said nothing at all. And every time the wind moved through the trees, it felt like Esther's spirit was near. Not through a screen. Not through a post. But real. Quiet. Close. One evening. As the sun was setting, Joseph joined Monica in the garden. He had been silent through most of the weeks since Esther's passing. Not cold, just quiet. Healing in his own way. He sat beside her and looked at the white flowers. She would have loved this, he said. Monica nodded. I think so too. Joseph turned to her. Do you regret it all? She thought for a long time before answering. I regret what I lost, she said. But I don't regret learning the truth. I just wish I learned it sooner. Joseph placed his hand on hers. It was a small gesture, but one that said everything. They didn't need to say more. They just sat together, watching the light fade and the flowers dance in the breeze. The world online had moved on. New trends had come. New faces had risen. New stories were told. But Monica didn't mind. Her peace no longer depended on noise. She had stopped measuring her worth in likes and views. She now found value in stillness, in honesty, in love that didn't need to be seen to be real. Sometimes, she still received messages from mothers around the country. They didn't ask for tips or brand names. They asked for one thing: time. How do I give my child more time? And Monica always replied the same way. Put the phone down. Open your arms. Hold them. Just hold them. No camera could capture the power of that. And that was enough. One morning, before the sun had fully risen, Monica sat by the mango tree with a pen and a small piece of paper. For weeks, she had carried words in her heart that she had never spoken aloud. Now, she wrote them down. My dear Esther, I wish I had known how to love you better. I wish I had given you more peace, more quiet, more sleep. You were not born to please the world. You were born to be loved. I am sorry I didn't see that quickly enough. But your short life has opened many eyes, including mine. You are still teaching us. Rest well, my little one. Mama. She folded the paper, placed it in a small bottle, and buried it near the roots of the tree. Not for anyone else to find, but for her own healing. A few days later, a woman Monica didn't know came to her gate. She was holding a small baby in her arms and had tears in her eyes. Are you Monica? The woman asked. Monica nodded slowly. I saw your video, she said. I almost lost my child because I was doing the same thing. Posting everything. Ignoring her cries. I stopped because of your story. Monica opened the gate and invited her in. They sat in the garden, under the tree. Monica held the baby gently. She's beautiful, she said. The woman smiled. Her name is Grace. They didn't talk much after that. They didn't need to. Sometimes, healing passes quietly, like wind through leaves. Months passed. Monica didn't go back to content creation. Instead, she started speaking in small gatherings, churches, women's meetings, schools. Not as an expert, just as a mother who had learned a hard lesson. She carried a photo of Esther in her wallet. She carried her memory in every word she spoke. She taught women to protect their peace, to choose presence over popularity, to remember that babies need more than views, they need love, touch, and time. Her life no longer shone with filters or fame, but it glowed with something deeper: truth. And that kind of light never fades. There were still cameras in the world. Still people chasing attention. Monica didn't judge them. She simply knew what it had cost her. Every once in a while, she would scroll through her old photos. Not to post. Just to remember. Sometimes she cried. Sometimes she smiled. But she never forgot. Joseph stood by her. Their love had become quieter, more patient, more real. They still missed Esther, but they had learned how to live again, not by forgetting her, but by honoring her. They laughed together more now. Not for content, but because life, even with pain, still had joy. 1 year after Esther's passing, Monica returned to the mango tree. She brought one white flower. She sat on the bench and looked at the garden they had built. It had grown. It had become a place where people came to think, to cry, to breathe. She took a deep breath. And she spoke out loud. If you are watching, if you are listening, if you are holding a child in your hands right now, I want to say this: look at them. See them. Not through a screen. Not for strangers. But as yours. She stood up slowly and placed the flower at the base of the tree. Then she whispered, your child is not your content. Your baby is not your brand. They are your gift. Love them fully. And with that, Monica walked back into her home, not into the spotlight, but into peace.